Orlando. You are watching Sin City Cycling, and today we have our AliExpress project back in my shop. As we saw during the opening, I'm experiencing some clicking and ticking to the bottom bracket as I pedal. I've watched a bunch of videos and tried to get as much information as I can, as well as picking up a new bottom bracket removal tool. So let's go ahead and take a quick look at that, and we'll go ahead and start the work. So the tool I picked up consists of these items here, and it's Lixada's bottom bracket installation and removal tool. And I haven't quite figured out how exactly it works, but it does come with some, let me grab them real quick, some pretty detailed instructions on how to set everything up. So I'm sure I'll be able to figure it out, but instead of having to knock out the bottom bracket with the ice tool, bearing removal tool that I used on the last project, this one pulls the bottom bracket that's pressed in. Somehow it uses one of these little pieces here and pulls the bottom bracket out instead of having to violently knock it out with a hammer. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the cranks on the bike here. We'll go ahead and loosen the drive side and proceed to pull out the other side. And I'm going to go through and clean out the bottom bracket location. And I've heard on some of the videos that I watched that Loctite might actually be a good additive to the bottom bracket area. But mine does not have a aluminum sleeve like a lot of the other bikes have an aluminum sleeve, and then the bottom bracket pushes into that aluminum. The bottom bracket on this bike is actually just bare carbon fiber. So I'm a little bit worried about using the Loctite method. I'm afraid that the next time I pull out the bottom bracket that it might remove some of the carbon fiber. So I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do yet. I might just clean it and reinsert the bottom bracket and hope that that's enough. But the ticking that's happening during a ride is definitely annoying. It's not hurting anything, but it's definitely irritating as far as it bothering me and other people I ride with. So we're going to go ahead and try and take care of that today, and I'm hoping, because I like riding this bike a lot, I'm hoping that the methods that I've seen on YouTube combined will help eliminate that tick. So let's go ahead and try out this new tool and see what we can see. Okay, I got this removal tool set up here. So on this side here, you can see this is the side that's set up to catch the cup as it's coming out. And I kind of had to rig this up. It didn't really have the specific stuff I needed. But I'm going to tighten this end here, and you can kind of see how the silver piece here is pushing on the housing of the bottom bracket. So I'm going to go slow and hope that it doesn't break shit. Alright, now I'm going to listen here for any kind of noise. Looks like it's pushing it. All right. And that just popped right out without having any violence there, man. That was very uneventful. I was expecting more trouble, but it worked pretty dang good. All right, and there we have it. You can see how it just caught that cup piece. So it kind of just fit right in there, and it pushed it out into this thing. So nice. So I originally used, what am I calling it? Fiber grip in here, and I'm assuming that's why it's creaking. I'm not really sure. So I'm going to go ahead and use some alcohol and clean out the whole cavity here and then reinsert. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, first I'm going to clean off all of the parts, and then I'll clean off the mounting location. So this is just some alcohol in a spray bottle. That should degrease everything. Fingers. And I originally greased the shaft of the cranks as well, so that was just something I usually do, but I did watch some video where they cleaned off all the grease that was on there before mounting. So that's what I'm going to do, and hopefully it'll remove that ticking noise or creak. What's nice is, now I'm not really worried about if I have to remove this thing again, because that pressing situation is much nicer than having to brutally pound out the bottom bracket. So if you guys want to check out the tool that I bought, it was recommended by one of my friends. His name's Justin. I'll leave a link down in the description below if you guys are interested in it. And I don't make anything off of these. I'm just looking if you guys want to get one to help you out. So please don't feel like I'm using you so I can make money off of these products, because that's not the case. Our channel is all about doing things yourself and saving some money. Okay, everybody's clean. All right. Okay, let me line you up so you can see me working on it here. I got a little piece of carbon fiber here that's kind of fraying. I hope that's not the ticking noise. But that was from having to pound out the last one. Okay. That seems pretty good. Clean out the other side. And again, it's not like it was detrimental to the functioning of the bike, but holy crap, that ticking noise when you're not wearing headphones is really irritating, at least to me. I don't, maybe you guys can put up with it, but I'm going through a whole bunch of extra work just to eliminate the annoyance of it. And the last one we had in here kind of made some noise too, but not as much. And I'm assuming because it had that little sleeve that we inserted in there first as a buffer. So hopefully this will be the trick. And I used anti-seize, or not anti-seize, fiber grip on the inside here, and I'm assuming that was the issue. But I've always heard that it was a good idea to use fiber grip with your install. And it would be nice if this frame company reinforced this bottom bracket socket with at least some aluminum sleeves at the very front of these cups. You know, most of the major brands, Specialized included, has an aluminum shell that the bottom bracket has that's pressed into the actual frame to give it more rigidity and stiffness in the bottom here. Because this frame is so cheap, it does flex. I can definitely feel it flexing under power, but I mean, it's not really, you know, I'm not a world-class cyclist, so it's not really, you know, that big of a deal. As far as fast goes, you know, I'm not a fast guy. I'm more of an endurance rider where, you know, I go long miles and survive. That's more about what I'm up. I want to be really careful because I definitely don't want to get poked by any loose freaking carbon fiber. That shit's painful. Alright, now that it's all cleaned out, I wiped the cranks off. I'm going to go ahead and get ready to press in the other side. Alright, I have pretty much a combination of the new tool with my old bottom bracket tool here to make it an ideal situation. So let's see if it's going to go here. Going. Okay. All right, now that's the press side in, the rest just screws in, and that should be that. Just reinsert the cranks and technically, we should be good to go, hopefully without the ticking noise, so we shall see how that goes. And my old tool had a cup that fits the outlet on the frame here, so this size fits the frame, and then I used from the new kit, this one's set up for 24 millimeter shell installation, which 24 millimeter, as most of you know, is Shimano. So that pushed on the shell just nice enough to get it in there. So, all right, down to the last side here. Got my Shimano bottom bracket tool here. You know, this thing feels so loose in there. I'm wondering if, because of how easy this is going in, that maybe this is the side that's creaking. I suppose I should verify if there's any cracks, and I don't see any. I know some of you are waiting for this bike to explode underneath me, but thankfully that hasn't happened yet. Doesn't mean that it won't, so you never know. But like I said, it wasn't 100% necessary, except, you know, it was just bothering me. And I like when things run the way they're supposed to run. I don't want to get too crazy tight in this thing, but I want it to be good and snug, so. That looks like it's about it. Okay, I'm gonna bring the chain over here. Dust seal. I just want to make sure that it's completely seated before I go ahead and preload the bearings with that plastic cap. And I apologize if the fan's running and you can't really hear what I'm saying, but it's either fan or death. It's like that flat finish on those cranks, man. You even touch it with greasy hands and it fucking shows. So I'm trying to, before I touch that crank arm, get the grease off my hands so there's not a bunch of fucking fingerprints all over it. That kind of thing bothers me. Oh, of course this chain is just going to be a pain in the ass because I'm on the opposite side of the bike. Alright, just finished reseating the bottom bracket here again. Test ride it, see if it's still clicking. And it is. I'm starting to think that maybe it's not the cranks. Oh, that's irritating. Okay, so I tried a couple of things. I added some shims, that didn't work. I tightened it a little bit more, that didn't work. I'm starting to think, I don't know if you can hear that on camera. That it might be the pedals. So I'm going to go ahead and switch my pedals out to my Dura Ace ones on my next ride, and we'll see if that helps it. But there's nothing loose, the frame isn't cracked, it's just making that clicking noise, and I'm not really sure why yet. Anyway, we tried a couple of things. I'm starting to think that it's the pedals, as I was showing you earlier. If it is the pedals, I'll go ahead and probably update it in the description below. I'm not sure if I'll record that success. But anyway, I appreciate you guys coming along for this ride. As always, if you like the kind of things we do, consider hitting that like and that subscribe. And I guess that bell thing notifies you if we release a new video. So you might want to do that. Anyway, as always, I am Orlando. This is our AliExpress carbon fiber bike. Peace. So real quick before we go, I did solve the problem, and it turned out to be the shaft on the left side pedal has a little tiny bit of play in it, and that was what was making the clicking noise. And I just wanted to mention that, just like everyone else, I was so quick to blame the frame on the cheap carbon bike that I never even considered the fact that it might be something simple. So the lesson I learned here is try the easy stuff first, and maybe you won't have to undo the cranks 10 times and do a bunch of things that are actually a waste of time. Easy things first, hard things after. Anyway, I just want to let you guys know I fixed it. As always, peace.